Hi friends!
And welcome to Wives vs. World.
I'm Jackie! No, it's me first.
Okay.
Hi friends! Welcome to Wives vs. World. I'm Jackie.
I'm Anya.
And today we are gonna talk a bit about how I came out to Anya as an all-around swell kind of gal.
Me or you?
Me. I came out as trans.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Wanna hear about my genitals?
Oh, please elaborate. Tell me more.
No.
Show me your genitals. Genitals. Do anyone remember? That reference?
Does anyone know?
What? Show me your genitals. Genitalia! Show me your genitals.
I don't even know. Anyway. We had to talk about Jackie's genitals. No way.
No. The year was 2008. It was October 10th and I asked Anya to be my girlfriend.
Like, I love that, but we have to start another place.
Okay. The year was 1991. The Soviet Union had just fallen.
So for those of you who don't know us, we are a trans cis lesbian couple who've been dating for almost 13 years by now. And when we started dating, Jackie hadn't transitioned yet.
No.
So let's talk about how she came out to me.
I think one of the things that Anya really thought was interesting or nice about me was that I was very androgynous at this point. I don't know, all over the place, but I was definitely let's say, in touch with my feminine side.
Sure.
And I think that was something that appealed a lot to you.
Yeah.
Definitely not a boy. Definitely not gonna be a man. You went to Japan.
When we had been dating for 9 months or something.
Yes, how could you do that to me?
Yeah, it was terrible. At that point I hadn't expected we'd last that long.
Wow.
The point is, after 9 months of dating, you had been very feminine all of the time.
Feminine. But I was dropping hints. I was being very secretive, but also wanting to share, but also very afraid of sharing because I was falling head over heels for you.
Yeah, I think the most apparent thing at that time was probably your dysphoria. Whenever someone referred to you as something about male,
oh,
or
so
man,
handsome.
or, yeah.
Oh,
whatever.
what a fine man.
Yeah, gendered stuff.
Yeah.
You would just
flinch.
lose your shit completely.
Yeah.
So I guess that was kind of a hint.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
we had not discussed it, and Jackie had not told me, and nothing was out in the open. About a year or so after we started dating, when I was still in Japan, we had some kind of Skype conversation at some point, and neither of us remember what this was about.
I maybe asked hypothetically could you imagine such a thing if I was, wanted to be a woman? How would you react? Or something like that.
The conversation we had at that point over Skype didn't go well, as I remember it.
No.
It was kind of not a fight, but you were in shambles. You were so sad and completely incoherent and all over the place and could not talk openly about anything. Yeah, I don't remember, so it's not that important.
No.
But basically there was something there, and it had become more apparent in that conversation than it ever had before, even though I don't remember exactly what it was. Fast forward, I come home again, and you move in with me and my family. So it was something like in February 2010.
Yeah.
And then in the spring of 2010, I remember distinctly that we had a conversation. We were sitting out on the stairs in front of our home, and you told me that you wanted to start taking hormones. And you hadn't told me that before, or whenever I had asked about it, you had been like, no, definitely not.
No, who would ever do that? Oh. At that point, I was really, really, really struggling with dysphoria. Anya was helping me alleviate it the best way she could, which boiled down to sharing her wardrobe. At this point, we were pretty much the same size, and I had lost so much weight that I could fit into like most of your stuff.
Yeah.
And then came the spring of 2010, where I thought, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep going like this. I have to change. Something has to change. And so I finally sat Anya down and told her that I wanted to start hormones. That I had read up on these things, that it would be a slow change. It would be, I stop it now. There's not going to be any really lasting effects.
You made very sure to ease me into it and say only it isn't a lot or something like.
Yeah.
Because when you told me that, I think I was a little why you want to do that? I already think you're perfect the way you are. So I didn't really see the need for it. And I was scared that it was going to change you somehow. Maybe in a way I couldn't predict.
I think what I somehow managed to do was also tell you that this was not so much about change as it was about preserving myself and staying true to myself. and not getting whacked into a different lane. This was so much more about
Feeling comfortable. with
yeah,
yourself.
yeah, getting to be
Change your own
the way I
trajectory.
wanted to be. Yeah.
I remember that as well. Because you were like, I can't do this future. I have to do a different
Exactly.
future. Just for context, back then, 2010, we didn't have the same vocabulary around trans people. Definitely, absolutely not the same kind of representation. So back then, we never heard about trans people. It wasn't a thing.
No.
It was maybe a joke in a movie sometimes, like those were scary creatures or whatever. It wasn't
Indeed.
like, we had never seen or heard about normal trans people. So that word was never used. It wasn't like, you never sat me down and said, here's the deal, I'm trans.
No, because I don't think I would initially have described myself as trans at that point, because that
Yeah.
was
You couldn't call yourself that, or like it was a bad thing to be. You didn't want to be something that's bad.
no, and for the longest time I was not really relating to or identifying with the term trans. I was like, well, trans is something that I guess I am during my initial transition, but now that I am through it, now that I passed, now whatever, surely I'm not trans anymore, I'm just a woman. And I've sort of pedaled back on that point, because I think being trans is something that really speaks to a lot of how I understand myself and the world and everything. So I think it's very, very important to be, I am a woman, yes, but I'm also a trans woman. But not at that point. That was like, no, just a woman. Just stop it there.
And I think at that point, that kind of made me understand, okay, Jackie wants to be a woman or whatever. Like that way of thinking about it, that is...
Yeah, it's outdated.
But it made me like understand that, and that didn't necessarily mean that you were trans, because that was those
No.
people you saw on the train that wore women's clothes or whatever. And Jackie wasn't like that. She
I was just
wanted a future as a woman. That way of thinking really speaks to the lack of representation at that time, I think.
I tell you, you not reluctantly, but maybe hesitantly say, okay, well, let's see how this goes. Let's find out. You're open to the idea. You're not arms over your head enthusiastic yet.
No, exactly. I'm just like, okay.
Let's
I don't
see where
know
that
about
goes.
That, but okay.
So I graduate. Summer comes along. It's the best summer of my entire life, the way I remember it. We spent so much time just on the couch, just having a good time, dressing up, taking pictures, going on long dates. We had no money at that point because we were young teenagers, but like it was just such a long, warm, like it's one of those summers that just continue on forever. Like it lasted years, I think. Then comes the new year, I start Japanese classes and I enroll as Jackie. I hadn't changed my name at that point, so I had to go like, could you not use that name but use this name instead? Of course, in roll call, they don't. So that's me out to everyone. But I'm sitting there in Gothic clothes, feeling myself, being like, this is what I'm doing now. And I think, is it in autumn of 2010, we go for a gynecologist or endocrinologist who's like, sure, we can hook you up with some hormones. Let's just take a look at your vag and we're good to go. I was like,
wait a second.
I thought I'm just starting out, guys. I think this is too advanced. So they're like, we can't help you, sorry. And that it broke me. You were so there for me. You're like, that's okay, honey. We're gonna get you through this. We're gonna find you someone who's gonna get you some of those pills that you want for your tits. Yes, right. So a friend of mine writes me and says, "Oh, I know, like an endocrinologist. Let me hook you up." And so she did. And I think this was March 2011. I get my first dose of estradiol, and then it just rolled from there.
So would you say I was on board on that point?
Yes, like when we reached that point, you were my biggest supporter. You were what got me up in the morning. You were what got me through a lot of like embarrassment and misgendering and really awkward situation where I came home and the only thing I could do was just like throw myself on bed and cry.
Oh,
And you would just be like, it's okay, I'll make some tea. You were so nice to me. You still are. You were my biggest supporter, and you were just treating me so well and like so affirmatively, and like you are the reason I am so well adjusted.
Did you wish you had done anything differently at that time?
I wish I had told you sooner and in clearer terms. I wish I had had the wherewithal to be able to do that. We've been dating for 6 months. I have to tell you something. I think I'm trans, and
That
maybe
would have been a bit easier than
That would
what
just
you
be-
pulled me through. And every time I got kind of close, you shied away.
no.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. It's not like that.
So are you telling me you want to be a woman? Who? What woman? No.
Where did you
no.
get that idea? Yeah, I feel like that happened a few times, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm a bit confused. You're sending me
Yeah.
mixed signals here. Do you have any advice for your younger self? If you could go back in time and sit with 17-year-old Jackie down, 16 maybe, what would you say to her?
Okay, listen, buddy. I know it's been rough. I know it's really, really rough right now, but even though you've been burned before, it's not out of the question to trust someone again. You're gonna find someone who's gonna be open to the changes that's about to happen in your life, that you really want to happen in your life. And if you let them get close, if you let them understand, and if you are honest with not just them but yourself, it's gonna be so much easier. I can't promise you it's gonna be faster or with less administrative bumps on the road, but it's gonna be more pleasant, and you're gonna be more in control and less anxious.
So do you dare coming with any kind of advice for people who don't know how to tell their partner?
I would say if you feel safe, if you feel like your partner is an open person, I think in the long run you are going to be better off if you are open and honest with them. Because in one scenario, they're going to be like cool with it, either just now, immediately, or at some point, and you're going to stay together. The other point is they might not be cool with it. And then it's up to you if you want to suppress that part of yourself. I know I couldn't. Or if you just want to let things run their course. I think it would be better to be open and honest with yourself and your partner, come what may. Either you're going to be together or you're not going to be together, but you don't want to build a relationship on you suppressing yourself, because that's not being honest. That's not being a good partner.
I just think that's very true.
Yes.
Like, it's very easy to say, of course, and much harder to live by.
And I mean, look at how much of a wreck I was at 18, 19. Yeah. I was so afraid of losing Anya that I was like, I really, teetered on the brink for a while, not really wanting to tell her, because what if that means the end? But looking back, I'm like, if it had meant the end, it had meant the end. I would have been better off than I would have been maybe getting to this point, having built a life with her and being like, actually, I am trans.
Of course you say this because you didn't lose me.
No.
I think maybe you cannot say how you would have felt about it if that had happened.
No, of course.
But this is just your experience. But if I hadn't been okay with that part of you, then we wouldn't have been right for each other, I feel. The whole thing we have together is so built upon that foundation.
I feel very much like there is, for the couple involved, every breakup, every divorce, every stuff like that, they are more of a good thing than they are of a tragedy, I think, generally speaking, because in most of these cases it's just because it didn't work.
Yeah.
Either none or maybe one of the parts involved was not happy in this constellation. If that's what it leads to, being open about who you are, then I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I've spoken my piece. I don't know if it's my piece to speak.
This is all, so it really differs from person to person, and nothing about our experiences are universal.
No.
Of course. So we're not saying any of this to tell you how to live your life or what you should do.
Don't take this as advice. No. Don't break up with anyone just because I said so.
No, exactly.
I don't know you. I don't know how anything is in your life. Feel.
It's just sharing our experiences, your experience, so it can maybe help form some opinion or experience out there for people who are a little lost.
Indeed.
We hope you like this kind of content, and if you did, you can subscribe for more. And if you didn't, you don't have to.
No, but say you did. Say you did. You can also click a like.
Yeah.
Say you have any questions or comments. You could say leave a comment.
You can. Did you know?
It's possible.
It's right down there. And if you want more of us, you can find us on Instagram.
Down there as well, in the doobly-doo, not in the comments.
Thank you for watching, y'all, and we hope to see you next time. Bye!
It's to attract the young alpha.
Well, it works, baby. Want me to embarrass you even more?
If I were 15 to 20 years old now, and I had to tell you, it's the same age, okay, so we're role-playing here, we're younger now.
You have ice cream sandwich in my tea?
No. Thank you for coming.
That's all. Dismissed.